Hello, everybody. Just hold on for a while. Hold on for a while as we try to enable your teacher to start. Just hold on for a while.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. Morning. Good morning. How are you?
Morning.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
It's fine. It's okay. I hope you are doing fine. Thank you.
Good morning. Morning. Morning.
I hope you are doing fine. Huh? I'm also doing very well. Sorry for that late arrival from class. There were some technical problems, but we have sorted them out. So meanwhile, we're supposed to start our class. I don't know where I'm going to pick up in a madam. If you have a comment, you raise your hand, I unmute you. Anybody with a comment? You raise your hand. Yes, Emmanuel. Milifika wapi?
Chair did not get correctly the meaning of an atom.
So that is what you are doing.
Yes.
Mko mnafanya atoms peke yake?
And atoms, elements, compounds, and mixtures.
How did you define atoms?
That's my question. I did not get it correctly.
Okay. Karaoke, Kelly. Kelly, karaoke.
An atom. An atom is the smallest particle of matter that can take part in a chemical reaction.
Yes, Kelly, you were talking. What is an atom? The smallest?
Is the smallest part of matter that can take part in a chemical reaction.
So the smallest part of reaction is referred to as an atom. The smallest particle.
Or the smallest part of matter that can retain the properties.
Can take the property. I can't hear you. I can't. Yes, karaoke.
Yes.
I can't hear you. You were saying or?
Or the smallest part.
Oh, your network. Yes, Emmanuel Combo. Emmanuel?
Yes.
You seeing you are like you're talking. Collins Njuguna? Njuguna Collins.
Yes.
Tulisoma nini tena?
Tulisoma about definition of an atom, an element, molecules.
How do you define a molecule, Collins?
Molecule is the smallest particle that can exist independently.
A molecule is the smallest particle of that can exist independently. J. Carrega. Carrega. Carrega J. Your answer up.
It is
J. You unmuted yourself when you're talking.
it is the smallest particle of matter that can take part in a chemical reaction.
Brown Koech.
Sure about this dance. I don't think my date really wants to.
Huh? Brown. Coach Brown.
Yes.
Ni game gani una play on the background?
Yes.
Are you aware we are in class?
Yes.
Na unacheza na nani hapo kando yao?
My sibling was just disturbing me.
Okay. Now, I hope Madam clarified on the definition of an atom, element, a compound, and a mixture, okay? And we give some of the differences between a mixture and a compound. Yes, Gitao, Alex.
I wasn't there during the lesson.
Okay. Differences between a mixture and a compound? Mandari?
Yes.
What are some of the differences between a mixture and a compound?
A compound consists of things that are similar, while a mixture can be of different things.
Parsley Hakim?
Yes, sir.
What give 3D?
Teacher.
Unmute yourself. Parsley?
Yes.
Differences?
A compound can be separated into consequent substances by physical means,
Good.
while mixture, while a compound can't be separated into consequent substances.
Into constituent elements. So we are saying that a mixture can be separated into constituent elements by what we call physical methods, while a compound cannot be separated into its constituent element. What we mean by that is this, okay? When we say that a mixture can be separated into constituent elements, that means the compounds which are originally forming that particular mixture. Like for example, we can have a mixture of, sorry, we can have a mixture of maize and beans. You can have a mixture of maize and beans. A mixture. You can have a mixture of maize and beans. You can have a mixture of maize. You see, if you joke around in my class, mimi nitakutoa because ukiandika naandika na shindwa, shida yako ni gani? Shida yako inakuwa ni gani? You can have a mixture of maize and beans. Which methods can we use to separate a mixture of maize and beans? Can somebody, I think 3 hands are up.
And picking.
And picking, that is good. Another person? Alan?
Sorting.
Sorting, that is good. Parsley?
Let me think.
Okay. Karaoke?
I said sorting.
Kaberia?
Sieving.
That is good. Hey, sieving maize and beans. You can sieve maize and beans, okay? Okay, Lord James?
And picking and sorting.
Picking and sorting. So we can separate a mixture of maize and beans. That's why you said a mixture can be separated by physical means. There are so many methods of separating mixture. We have got decantation, we have got fractionating, fractional distillation, we have got unpicking, we have got winnowing. There are so many. But a compound, what is a compound? By the way, what is a compound? Can someone define for us a compound?
A compound.
Yes, please.
A compound is a combination of 2 or more elements.
Combination of 2 or more elements. For example, we can have water. Water is a compound, and which elements are present in water?
Hydrogen and oxygen.
That is very good. We have got hydrogen. We have got hydrogen and oxygen. So that it gives us something like H2O. That is it. Is there a way we can separate hydrogen from oxygen?
Yes.
Is there a way we can separate these components of the elements present in water so that we have got hydrogen separately and oxygen separately? We cannot. That's why we are saying a mixture can be separated by any physical means, while a compound is not able to be separated. Another difference? I'm seeing the same people. Yes, please.
No chemical change takes place during omission in mixtures, while in a compound, chemical change occurs during omission.
That omission separated by the word, replaces the word during formation. No chemical change occurs during formation of mixtures. During formation of mixtures, not omission. During formation of mixtures. While when compounds are being formed, chemical reaction takes place. Again, I want to illustrate that by saying that when we are when you're mixing maize and beans, do we have any chemical reaction taking place?
No.
We did not have any chemical reaction taking. We just mixed the two and then it formed a mixture. When you take salt, ile chumvi, ama sukari, uweke kwa maji, it dissolves. Is there any chemical reaction taking place?
Yes.
There is no chemical reaction taking place when you take sugar and dissolve in water. That is sugar solution. But when you take hydrogen, you burn in oxygen. It will react with oxygen to form water. Bradley Kiplimo, are we together?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when compounds are being formed, chemical reaction takes place. When you want to form sodium chloride, by the sodium chloride is made of which elements?
Sodium and chlorine.
Very good. Sodium and chlorine.
chlorine.
Sodium and chlorine are present in sodium chloride. So when that sodium chloride is a compound, when it is being formed, sodium has to react with the chlorine to give us sodium chloride. You understand? So when compounds are being formed, chemical reactions take place. But when you're forming mixtures, there is no chemical reaction. Any question on that? Yes, Steve Murezi?
I don't have a question. I think.
Yes, Steve? Dennis, Derek, Yalo?
No.
You have no question, no?
Yes.
I'm seeing some answer up. James John. James John. Oh, your hands are up, you're not talking. Alex Gitau, Macau. No, if you have nothing to say, please, can you lower those hands down? But I know who is having a question, who is not having. Muhammad Adan. Any other contribution, difference in a mixture and a compound? Think to Newton, Mudaura. Another difference?
The difference is of compounds are different from group of elements. Of mixtures are the
Sure.
same.
Emmanuel Combo. Another difference?
During the formation of compounds, there is heat. There is usage of heat, but in mixtures there is not.
Actually, when compounds are being formed, there is great heat change, while in mixtures, no heat is required. There is no heat required. That is good. Derek Yalo. Derek Yalo. Okello James. Okello James.
Yes.
I'm seeing your answer.
I wanted to share a difference. The properties of our compound are different from the constituent elements, while the properties of our mixture are simply the average of the constituents.
That is very good, because if you look at again, if I give you this example of water and hydrogen, you'll again realize that Theophilus, can you mute yourself? You'll realize that the properties of hydrogen are not the same as the properties of water. The properties of oxygen are not the same as the property of water. So when a compound is formed, the final property of that particular compound being formed is very much different from the individual elements that is making up the compound. But for a mixture, it is the average of the properties of the individual elements making that particular mixture. Yes, Steve Muridi?
I wanted to add the differences.
Yes.
Compounds are single substances, while mixtures contain at least two substances.
So a mixture is a combination of at least more than two substances, while a compound is simply one mixture. Yes, I'm seeing 3 hands are up here. Bugwa?
Could you go through James' point again?
He talked about the individual components. Is it that? Hello?
Yeah.
Bugwa?
Yes.
So we see for a mixture, let's say for example, you have got maize and beans. See? Maize is white, see?
Yes.
and beans is, there are different colors of bean. There is yellow bean, there is the red bean, there is the white bean. So if you mix, for example, a white maize, which is white, and the yellow beans, which is yellow. So at the end of the day, you are not going to have the specific colors. Like well, let's say, for example, you have got sand and water, or sand and salt. If you mix the two, which color do you get? Okay, what are the properties of that sand? Of that mixture, sorry.
The sand is a different color than the salt. The salt is white and the sand is brown.
Is somehow brown. So if you mix the two, you don't get a definite. So it means the individual mixtures, individual components making that mixture retain their physical property. It is the average of the two. And look at water. Look at hydrogen. Hydrogen is used as a rocket fuel. Sinukweli. Hydrogen is used in weather balloons. Hydrogen does not support burning. Look at oxygen. Oxygen is used for breathing. Oxygen is used in welding. Okay. Oxygen is used by mountain climbers. Oxygen again is used in respiration. So you see the properties of hydrogen and oxygen are not the same. When they combine together, they give us a compound called water. You understand?
Yes.
This water may not have the property. Is water used in breathing?
No.
Is water used in burning?
No.
It is not used in burning. So you see the properties of the compound being formed are very much different from the individual element that is making that particular compound. Yes. So for mixtures, it is the average. The properties of the mixture is the average of the two. While for a compound, the properties making that particular compound are very much different from the individual components.
Yeah. Thank you.
Alan, welcome. Alan Chemuku. I'm seeing your answer up, please. Alan.
Yes.
You have a question?
Also difference between compounds and mixed.
Yes.
Like there is a change in mass of individual elements coming together to form a compound, while there is no loss of mass of the individual components forming mixtures.
That is so excellent. Yes, Nixon Jero.
According to your definition of the way when making a compound, the particles are usually different from each other. Is that why when you are told when putting out fire, you do not use water because it still has oxygen in it?
No, the reason why you don't use water for putting out fire is because you see fire produces a lot of heat, okay?
Yes.
So when you use this water to put out fire, the water will be decomposed into what you call oxygen atoms and hydroxyl ions, okay? So the oxygen will support the burning. You understand? Because fire produces a lot of heat. So that heat will decompose water into hydrogen ions, into hydroxyl ions and oxygen atoms. So the oxygen will be supporting the burning. So we don't use water for putting out fire.
Yes.
Is it okay, Nixon?
Yes.
Steve Murede?
Yeah, teacher, I wanted to ask, if we cannot separate compounds using physical means, is it possible to separate them using chemical means?
Yeah, like electrolysis. When you talk about physical means, these are things that like, for example, hand picking. Unaenda pale kwa maji, unataka pick oxygen, una pick hydrogen, pick oxygen, pick hydrogen. You may not be able to do that, okay? You may not be able, but if you take it through what you call electrolysis, which I will teach you later in Form 3 or Form 4, or in Form 2, you are able to separate them. For a mixture, you can use physical means to separate them, but for a compound, we only need some chemical process to separate the two. You still have a question, Murede?
It's okay. I'm okay.
You lower your hand then. We're good. Now, today, I want us to look at something different. I'm sure you have done something on reversible and irreversible changes. You've done something on criteria for impurities. was told you've done that before, so I may not be able to repeat this myself. Is it true, Nixon Jeru? Mlishasoma vitu kama hizo, si ndio?
No, elements and atoms.
Pekee ndo mlisoma?
Yeah.
So you had not done something on effect of heat on matter?
No, those irreversible and nini we did not do.
Oh, so you skipped them? Well, then we'll do them in our next class. For now, I want us to look at what we call chemical symbols. Chemical symbols. And I want to write down chemical symbols. Chemical symbols. Chemical symbols. Now, in chemistry, elements are represented by letters. In chemistry, elements are represented by letters, and the letters are referred to as chemical symbols. In chemistry, elements are represented by letters, and the letters are referred to as chemical symbols. In chemistry, elements are represented by letters, and the letters are referred to as chemical symbols. In chemistry, elements are referred to as, are represented by letters, and the letters are referred to as chemical symbols. And the letters are referred to as chemical symbols. And the letters are referred to as chemical symbols. Is that right? Are you able to see the screen projection? Idris Juma?
Yes.
Yes. So
yes.
So that is what that's the introductory part. A chemical symbol in chemistry. Elements. What is an element? By the way, what is an element? Lennox, Malanda. I'm seeing two hands are up here. Let me see who are they. Yes, karaoke. Rodney Gaku.
Yes. An element is a substance that cannot be split into anything simple by any non-chemical means.
That is good. Onyango.
An element is a substance that can't be split into any other simple, cannot be split into anything simple by any non-chemical means, such as can either be a metal or a non-metal.
That's okay. Karaoke.
An element is a substance that contains only one type of atom.
Not according to karaoke. Alex Mboy.
An element is a pure substance which cannot be split into simpler substances by chemical means.
So an element is a pure substance that cannot be split into any other substance by any chemical mean. You cannot split it. Like for example, we have got oxygen. What else can you split oxygen into? Alex Mboy?
Oxygen, since it's an element, it cannot be further split.
It cannot be further split into any other thing because it is already an element. It is a pure substance that exists on its own. Just like when we have something like hydrogen, there is nothing further you can split hydrogen into. But if you have something like sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is now considered to be a compound. We can break it down into sodium and chlorine. But for an element, it is that pure substance that cannot be split into any chemical mean into any other substance by any chemical means. Cannot be split into any other substance by any chemical mean. Now, indicate that a chemical symbol of an element is usually the first letter. A chemical. Rukenya.
Yes.
Are you with us?
Yes.
A chemical symbol of an element is usually the first letter. And it must always be a capital letter. It must always be a capital letter. It must always start with a capital letter. So you'll find that there are some elements which have got two symbols. There are those which have got one symbol, like Brandon, Sunday.
Yes.
What is the abbreviation for Mango for your name? Do you have a symbol for your name?
No.
Like we can say Brandon Sunday, so we can say that the first letter of your name is B. Okay, and the second letter of your name is S. So there's some elements which have got two more than one chemical symbol. Like, for example, you can say BS. So BS meaning Brandon Sunday. It is not an abbreviation. I want you to understand this. A chemical symbol is not an abbreviation of that chemical's name. It is a representation which we can use to identify that particular element. Just like in biology, you are told that a lion is called Panthera.
Yeah.
Panthera leo,
Leo. Yes.
Panthera leo, and a dog is called Panthera pardus. Is that right?
Leopard.
Yes.
Familiaris.
Familiaris, yes. And a leopard is Panthera pardus. And the maize is Z maize, something like that.
Yes.
So you find these names are written in Latin. Why are they written in Latin? So that they can be understood worldwide. Okay. So the chemists also sat somewhere and decided to look for a common name for all the elements, so that even the scientists in the US, when Alois talk of natrium, then somebody who is in the US should be able to know what is referring to. When Steve Muridi talks about Kalium, or somebody talking about argentum, somebody in maybe Italy should be able to know what he's talking about. So through what you call the IUPAC, International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, they sat somewhere and designed a name that can be used to identify these particular elements. That's all. Indicate that the chemicals, some of the chemical symbols are always in greenish. Some of the chemical symbols are always in greenish or Latin name. Some of the chemical symbols are always in greenish or Latin name. Some of the chemical symbols are always in greenish or in Latin name. Well, Benson, stop making noise here. See, if you want to make noise, I don't know whether it's Benson or who. Let me check. Oh, it's not Benson. Sorry, Benson is not here. So, some of the chemical symbols are in Latin or in, yes, Joseph Amara.
Chad, did you mean Greekish?
Greekish or Latin.
Oh.
Greekish or Latin. Yes, Hassan?
Thank you.
Welcome. Hassan? Yakub Hassan. Your answer, Hub.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes.
If can this, if a question comes in exam and you are told in which language do the chemical symbols come, do we say Latin or in Greek?
Either of the two will be awarded.
Thank you.
Welcome. So the next thing, indicate that some elements are represented by one letter, some elements are represented by one letter, some elements are represented by one letter, while others are represented by two letters. Some elements are represented by one letter, while others are represented by two letters. Joel Austin, are you writing? Some elements are represented by one letter, while others are represented by two letters. Now, if you look at that, table I've given there, I want you to draw it and write the chemical symbols in them. And these are the very important things. You must know them. You must know the chemical symbol for all the elements. You must know all the chemical symbols for all the elements from number 1 to number 20. From number 1 to number 20. From number 1 to number 20. Yes, Hassan? I'm seeing your hands are up. Hassan? Newton?
The screen is not clear.
Yeah?
The screen is not clear.
What are you not seeing?
The element's name.
The first one is carbon.
Thank you.
And the symbol is C. The second one is nitrogen. And the symbol is N. The third one is oxygen. And the symbol is O. The fourth one is hydrogen. And the symbol is H. The other one is calcium. And the symbol is Cn. The other one is
So we are not seeing the screen. The work itself, we cannot see it.
Can you unmute yourself so that you stop interrupting?
Bado unaona screen, mimi sioni.
Just unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
No, we can't see the screen.
Well, Samuel, Kenya.
Samuel, unmute.
We're Kenya.
Unmute.
Rada, bro.
You cannot see the screen.
Wapi Mudi? Mimi umemaliza kuandika?
Ya kumsema ze. Unakula sai.
Cannot.
Kenya ndo nakula sai.
Hapana.
Ndaiswacha hizo man.
Wewe Kenya ndo nakula sai. Kwa nini ulikuwa umeamka saa ngapi?
Saa 2:30.
Ai.
We Charles ako wapi?
Bode ameishia naye.
Was finished writing. Never kuandika.
Ati babies.
Hello Charles. Omwenga. Raymond. Nini? Raymond.
Oi, Idris.
Raymond.
Nini?
Unadu?
Nasoma kichwa hii, kwani wewe unafanya?
Sasa Mwenga.
Poa.
Unasikika na watu wote hapo.
Salimia Tiffany.
Poa, ndamsalimia.
Wewe Radem.
Jamaa, Charles madama.
Imeisha ama?
We. Charles madama kwa wapi?
Oi.
Oya. Charles ako wapi? Charles madama ako wapi?
Bodi yako. Nauliza swali moja tu. Unatambulisha Samuel kwa wapi? Rukeni kwa Idris.
We, makudrama kwa. Nahitaji makudrama.
Oi Rada.
Chame ndo wapi?
Emmanuel.
Chameenda kukunywa chai.
Emmanuel.
Wase. Everyone anita. Chameenda kumanga.
Ndunya.
Ai.
Hello.
Mwenye ako na namba ya Instagram.
Chameenda wapi?
Nenda church.
Oi rada. Kulizaa tu chameenda wapi? Kwani simlete form?
Chalo. Twende online. Alafu Omwenga.
Yeah.
Nitafutie namba ya Charles.
Sawa. Wewe twende online.
Sawa.
Wanajua mendo star. That's what let's find. No offense, but you guys fine. Yeah. But it's fine.
Ngoma mimi nasikia vizuri.
Vincent Mwangi.
I don't know what's contemplating here.
Alafu majamaa niulize, is there a way that someone can determine between an element and a compound?
Yes, there is.
Aje?
An element consists only of one compound, only one.
Chalo acha ufala. Ujua mwenye anasema ni tu vala we. Hiyo ni swali wale nitakuja kwa mtihani.
Wewe mtachafanya.
So unauliza swali alafu najijibu.
Sifala.
Jana ulienda wapi na wapi?
Tulifika home.
Ni bora unaona mimi sio umeona
Sinanga joba. Matatu nibeba. Bure. Zinanibebaga bure. Walai. Boondocks gang. Mexico.
Hello. Hey guys, sorry for that network problem. I hope you can hear me. Is it true, Newton Yoro?
Yes, we can hear you, teacher.
Yoro, can you hear me?
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Chemistry teacher from last week every lesson anatokanga like at 10. Si picha ni teacher.
Maybe the normal Zoom only lasts 40 minutes.
And it only allows for 30 or 40 people. This one, I think that's for a lot of people.
Then why increase
Tutabaki, but there are some lessons that kila mtu anapewa them have to yeah, natoka then he came back and says actually he had an issue. They ametoka tena.
Nambai. Hola.
Okay, nakaa.
I'm dead.
These boys anakula.
So my friend got you like that shit.
Nimezima video bana.
DJ cheza wimbo ya Willy Paul.
Sasa nimesha ama.
I guess so.
2 minutes, 1 minute imebaki ishe.
Asante.
Cheza wimbo ya Willy Paul. DJ cheza wimbo ya Willy Paul.
Stop that bana. Hey, stop that.
We Lambwa.
Sane na 29.
We nyonga tu, hapa hakuna wasichana.
Get free music on download.com.
Atoti.
I will run, I will climb, I will soar. I'm undefeated. Jumping out of my skin, pulling cord. Yeah, past is everything we were to make us who we are. So I'll chase until I make it real, and all I see is stars. Is that until you fall? You fly.
Watu wa Mani wako wapi?
Take a shot, chase the sun, find the beautiful.
Wamelala.
Story ya Mani siongelewe hapa, sawa? Nyamaze.
Their balls are blue now.
Ati the blue, mlibahatisha.
Into something big, better than before. If it takes 1,000 lives, then this will fight for. It's not until you fall that you fly. When you chase your life, you're unstoppable. Take a shot, chase the sun, find the beautiful. We will go in the dark, turning dust to gold, and we'll dream.
I want to call Roland.
I will soar. I'm undefeated. Oh, jumping out of my skin for the core. Yeah, I believe it. Oh, the past is everything we were to make us who we are. Aneno nyako moro kae nyinge ng'a Atoti, to be onyalo mielo ngoma nyinge ng'a Atoti, to be onyalo miel koda nyinge ng'a Atoti, Atoti sudi kae mondo imiel koda yawa Atoti sudi kae mondo amiel kodi Atoti lovely baby nyakoni iromo wiya kiss me nyakoni iromo me nyakoni iromo kiss me nyakoni Kikitua msonga kanyonchin umewatere mana mos ndogo yako miel vile tunataka rakaraka pinyi malu jengo ka Atoti yengo ka mosoro Atoti yengo ka mosoro Atoti weko ka mosoro This was that way yako do it man Atoti ngoma TV Atoti do
Bila sheria kwa box.
Always watching me, I feel just like a TV. Folks, they telling me to stop. Yeah, really sorry, folks, they telling me to stop. Every time we step up on the scene, we make it pop. Yeah, I miss you as. Yeah, I miss you as. They telling me to stop. Every time we step up on the scene, we make it pop. Yeah, I miss you as. Miss you as stop. Yeah, I miss you as. Yeah, I'm on a video. Aki, I'm the best, yeah. Aki, I'm the best. She say she a queen, so I play her like it's chess. I just wanna ball out like my homies in US. I had a couple issues, so I put it in the music. I had a couple issues, had a homie feeling useless. She said they gon' run me up, I told them, out there in Nairobi, swear these niggas never do shit. I roll with the trappers, I roll with the masters. I don't have the bag, I cannot lie, I'm not a gapper. Still be going up, call the gang the Kenyan NASA. Running up a check and there's nobody running faster. I roll with the trappers, I roll with the masters. I don't have the bag, I cannot lie, I'm not a capper. Still we going up, call the gang the Kenyan NASA. Running up a check and there's nobody running faster. Feel it, shorty, I go broke. They telling me to stop. Every time we step up on the scene, we make it pop. Yeah, miss you as you stop. Yes.